Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to the show. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, welcoming you once again to our Dragon's Demand run through. You know, when we start recording for the show, I actually wish that we would record a little bit earlier, when you kind of hear the banter between myself and the other hard slingers. And I always, whenever I'm listening to podcasts, I like to listen to the initial banter to kind of see what's going on in people's lives, kind of what brought them to the hobby, you know, when they're not trying to perform for the show, when they're just actually being who they are. And last night when we were recording episode 40, which this is episode 40, we were talking a lot about how we got into the hobby at an early age, playing role-playing games, and then how I think most people, when they do play RPGs, they get into it at a teenage level, and then they kind of peter off. They do other things. They find other interests in life, but eventually they all circle back into it again. And I think Chris and I were talking about how, like, we had gone through our teenage years and then got out of it and then kind of hit it again in our 20s and then hit it again in our 40s. And all that being said is, you know, when you really feel passionate about something, whether it's role-playing games or it's race cars or it's collecting baseball cards or whatever your hobby is that really makes you happy, you should just be who you are when you're in that hobby. You know, a lot of people, they may think, oh, you're a nerd. You damn right I'm a nerd. I love this. I mean, I would pan the camera over and you can see my book collection. I know that you people who are listening to this on the podcast apps can't see what I just pointed the camera at, so head on over to YouTube at Roll the Hard 20 and subscribe to the show, and you too can see my bookcase. All that being said is I really, really enjoy this hobby, and I really enjoy that you people enjoy us putting this on for you. As always, I say whenever we roll a hard 20, be the first individual to write into the show and tell us who rolled that hard 20, and I will send you out a D20 from the show, and if I still have them, I will send you a sticker with our logo on it, and I show that on the episode as well. I just give you a heads up that somebody did roll a hard 20 on this episode, so it might have been me, but it wasn't. Whatever. Anyways, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, so let's warm up our dice and top off our glasses. Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 40 of our Dragon's Demand run-through, The Old Man's Plaything. Oh, it sounds worse than it is, but yeah, it's worse.
Hole in the wall.
Holy shit, do we have like Junior here and he's not like a still?
I'm here, baby.
He's brave. He's back in the toilet again, so.
Yeah, de los muertos.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch the South Park episode of Casa Bonita. It is a legit place here in Colorado, and it is like epic to go to. They have cliff divers inside. So when you go inside and you can sit, the guys, they scale these rocks inside the restaurant, and they cliff dive into a pool, and it's just a tiny pool in the floor.
Is this the episode where Cartman would like kill the guy so you go to this restaurant or something?
It's been so long since I've seen it, but it's Casa Bonita. It is legit. Their food sucks.
But you go for the atmosphere, huh?
You do. The sopapillas are good though.
Come for the cliff divers, stay for the tacos.
I like tacos.
Pink
and
taco.
it's all you can eat. All you can eat. You raise a flag on your table, and
The
they're like,
cliff
"Hey,
diver brings it out to you.
Yep.
They just dive it right
just
past
as he's
you.
diving, he throws it at your table.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like, I don't want it. It was in your Speedo. We're good.
So have you guys been watching the book of Boba Fett?
Yes, I've only
I have
watched the
not.
first 2 episodes, so don't spoil anything.
I'm not going to. It's a hard show to watch.
Really? Did you
Yeah.
watch any of it?
Yeah, I actually just got caught up with episode 6 tonight, which 5 and 6 were really good. But he just that's not the Boba Fett I grew up with. I'm just gonna say
That either of us grew up with.
Yeah, he's not the guy that would disintegrate you before I don't know,
Is he like
coming to the table to negotiate and rationalize with you and
softer,
talk,
kinder
parlay.
Boba Fett?
Yeah, he's more of a parlay individual. I guess surviving the Zarlak really has you think about life.
I was watching Empire last night. Speaking of Boba Fett,
Good movie. Good movie.
That's
I love that movie. Everybody likes that movie because it's so fucking dark. You know,
it's the best of all of them.
Think all the independent contractors that were killed on that Death Star.
I'm not worried about that. They were all independent. They all signed the contract. They knew what they were doing and getting into.
They knew the
chose a
risks
side.
associated.
They chose
They
a
knew
side.
the risks.
So how's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Doing
Sorry.
good,
Awesome.
doing good.
Yeah, sorry for
Jacked up
ending
on
the
coffee, ready to go.
good. Sorry for ending the recording. I actually hit the wrong button last week. And so
Good.
it made it seem like I was just an asshole. Well, you get better Wi-Fi. Click. And I'm like, oh shit, I hung up on everybody. Anyways, are we ready to play some D&D?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, and with me, the Hard Slingers. Yeah. Rounding out episode 40 of our Dragons Demand Run Through. First of all, business as usual. Shout out to CB Bach, our newest subscriber on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, and you too can be shouted out by us at you.
Hi, CB.
Yeah, CB.
What's up, dude?
You know this guy? No. Anyways, well, we know him
No.
now. He's one of our guys. Anyways, head on over to our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. Subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave us that 5-star rating and review on whatever app you listen to the show on. And I can't say podcast app because we are out on other apps as well. Amazon and Audible. Audible picked us up. That's really cool. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. Feel free to drop me a message, especially if you hear one of us roll a hard 20. Remember, the first person to let me know who rolled the first hard 20 of that episode, whether it's me or one of the other hard slingers, write in and I will send you one of our D20s as well as a sticker of our show with a logo on it. There it is right there. Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, dog.
Now for into house business. Everybody mark the time and the date from this point on forward because I don't want to assume any of your intentions. So you guys got to be clear with what you're going to do. If you're going to walk, if you're going to touch a door, if you're going to open a door, if you're going to check a door for traps, I don't want to assume anything that you guys do because I don't want to give away the magic, but I also don't want to assume that you've done something and then we get into like well, did you do that? No, I didn't do that yet. Oh, okay. Well, I misunderstood.
No,
So-
accidentally setting off sonic traps at the door.
Exactly. Like, make sure
Is it
you
gonna
let me
be
know
a,
your
hand off the chess piece kind of situation.
exactly.
Like you committed.
Exactly. Once you commit to something, and I don't hear you say anything else, I'll probably assume that you guys have rounded out your decision and you've done something. But let me know what you do. Let me know your marching order, anything like that. And that's why whenever you guys are walking, I keep your keep your marching order on the initiative tracker, which I love. So, gone is the map. You guys are now in uncharted territory. The map that Grendel Lentil has drawn you is null and void. You guys are now subterranean. You just traversed a 60-foot corridor, checking 3 separate doors along the northern wall. And you find yourselves in front of a 10-foot wide, thick, dark iron door that's etched with arcane symbols. Warren, whose name I cannot read because I didn't see your name on there because you didn't change your name. I told you that these are some kind of obscure glyphs that seem to be employed to imprison dangerous summoned creatures.
Yes.
And you guys now stand at the front of this door.
MC was like right about to open it, and Warren was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
The brakes.
Are you guys feeling a little run down? I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little run down. Maybe we take a little bit of rest before we move forward.
That would not be a terrible idea. I
We
do
have all this food and wine here.
Now,
that
the food is frozen. It's behind a wall of ice.
Warren, you
We
can
could take
make
care
some
of that.
fire. Why
Maybe
aren't
Mr. Magic could fry some steaks or something.
I don't know if my magic can hold a torch to Master Hunclave. He, from everything that I've seen here, he is decades beyond my power. However, that said, a rest, even though we are in a hurry, I say as I look at Stabby, would not be a terrible idea. I do have most of my magic still. However, Flint, you have.
I'm a little low
Yeah.
on some of my spells.
How much of a rest do you need to regain your?
A short rest will regain some of my healing abilities. I mean, unless you guys feel comfortable to continue on, but I wouldn't mind enjoying some of this sweet, sweet wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We can make a fort out of some of those boxes.
Warren, I'm only
Maybe smoke some of those magical fucking herbs that are in the next room, you know?
Psilocybin.
Warren.
Only
I'm
one way
only
to find out.
feeling. I'm only feeling about 50%, Warren. I would be concerned that we move forward at this point. That myself or another member of the party would survive.
We definitely should rest before we deal with. And I look over at like this ruined door, and you all can see like a certain cavalier nature that I have when dealing with like some of the matters of the arcane. Like, oh yes, I totally can tell you all about this painting and what this symbol and what that creature is. And I'm just looking at this door and just like genuine trepidation.
I think it'd be best if we took a rest. Everybody in
Okay.
agreement?
We could talk about it more while we sit down and have a ration.
Very
I
well
think
Agree.
So what's your decision? What would you like
into
to
the
do?
wine room, gentlemen.
Ah, yes. I have a fine wine that I've been keeping an eye on.
With that, I would have a white wine.
So we'll move into the wine room and take a long rest.
Okay.
Long
a
rest.
long rest, huh?
For a short.
Oh, a long
Well,
rest?
No, well, the short rest you don't get any hit points back.
No,
you
short
can- you
rest.
can
You can
could burn a
expend hit
few,
dice.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. One at a time.
That's why I stopped. You can burn hit dice during a short rest,
Oh, perfect. Okay.
up to the level that you're at.
Short rest it is.
I'm gonna do
What
a hit
level
dice.
are you guys? You're third or
Level
fourth?
3.
Three.
Level 3.
Wait, are we 3?
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Now, for all the new people like me, when you roll, do you get that plus your con modifier?
Yes.
Yes.
Or is it? Oh, nice.
And when you
I'm
level
seeing
up, you get max hit points for that. So,
Oh.
if you have a D8 plus 3 con, you would get 11 hit points every level.
Well, I
Well,
guess
so-
I guess I'll be leveling my rogue next time we play. Before we play next time, I couldn't remember if we were third or second when we switched.
When we switched, I believe we were leveling into third.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys did level everything into the third, and then after you were to do a rest, you would get all the benefits of that level.
Third level, you probably have
Yeah.
some sweet abilities coming on board.
Well, technically, we haven't long rested because to get those abilities, though, do we have to long or short rest for that?
You would have to long rest for that.
We haven't
It de-
long rested. We have not long rested yet, so we should.
That depends on the abilities. So, for instance, Flint's Channel Divinity will return on a short rest. I think the only thing that you and possibly Dempsey can really take advantage of right now would be your hit dice.
Well, you know what? If you guys are just
I've
going
been
to take
using
the
it.
rest, I'll level you up to that level now.
Cool.
Okay.
So just assume you're already at the level because you guys knew you were at the level. You were just waiting for the rest. So you guys should already have your guys prepared. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
you're welcome. I love you. But you don't get the hit points. You have to roll your hit die for your hit points.
I'll level it up next session. Before next session, I'll still roll level 2.
It's up to you, man.
Okay.
No, I
Feeling,
got,
you feeling loco? Come on.
Oh,
Casa Bonita it, man.
Casa Bonita. Come on, Cliff Diver. Jump
end
into
up
that
with the
shit.
shits for the week.
A great way to lose pounds before a show.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're in the wine room. We're chilling, tipping
Okay.
some
Literally.
back.
Now you really
This
don't
is
need
gonna
to
be-
set a
yeah.
guard because you're not doing a long rest. I imagine that you guys are just hunkering down, bringing it in.
Dempsey will be close to the door.
Okay. So you
shaking
guys
his
spend how
boot
long
out.
you want to spend in there? 4 hours.
Well, short
2
rests are
hours?
normally an hour. So
I'm just asking you how long you want to spend in there. 4
We'll
hours.
spend
2
an
hours?
hour.
Okay.
Hour's fine.
After your hour has passed, you guys feel somewhat more rejuvenated after you've licked your wounds. What would you like to do?
Warren, I will have spent after like a brief moment of settling down, maybe even having like a glass of wine. Warren will actually, I will actually like sit down, cross-legged on the floor, and just I have my hands out, and you just see like kind of like two little rotating motes of fire that just slowly kind of wind around each other. It just like seem to like focus and meditate and regain its magic, and then just stand up smoothly and kind of make a after you gesture to Dempsey. Shall we see what this door brings us?
So you want to go into the door?
Oh,
Well-
whoa, hold on. We might want to check that door for some traps or something before we just bust on in there, Dempsey.
Buster.
You cool with that, Dempsey? I know you're
Absolutely.
ready to box the door.
Ready to karate chop it? Yeah, let's approach it.
Okay,
Right,
so
so
you guys
I'll-
are now back in the hallway in front of the door. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I will. I'm going to search that door. I'm going to approach that door and just kind of feel along the edges of the door, looking for a trap, as high as I can go, considering my height, and just see if I can find anything there.
Okay.
That is a 15.
So you search around the door and you're fairly confident that there are no traps on this door at all.
Okay, looking good, guys. I don't see anything that really alarms me here. Are you guys ready to?
Let me just take one more look at it and look for something that is more magically trappish in nature.
I will step aside, Warren. Do your magic.
He could probably look right over you.
Oh no, could definitely look right over him. But yeah, I'll come up and kind of stand and just very methodically, basically count, just go over each rune and noting if it is a rune that is typically associated with a trap, and then also seeing if I can identify the magic, particularly as it pertains to the door latch or handle, and along the edge of the door. So, Arcana.
Please.
That is a 16.
So you don't detect any type of arcane traps whatsoever, other than the description I gave you of the symbols previously, being having something to do with imprisoning something. That's basically all these glyphs pertain to. They're almost like reverse wards. You know, not something to keep something out, but something to maintain some kind of a integrity to whatever would be holding something in place.
Okay. Look over at the others and say, I can't find anything, but that's not to say that there isn't something. As I said, Hunclay's magic is considerably more advanced than mine.
What are we looking at here? A latch, a door handle?
There is a door handle, and it's a big door. It's not a 5-foot wide door. This door occupies the entire end of the hallway. It's a 10-foot wide hallway, and the door jamb is basically from side to side.
All right. thinking about all the stuff that Warren said about the demon can look like anything and all that. He says a quick prayer, and then he reaches out and grabs the handle very slightly cautiously, but he just closes that big hand over it.
To turn the knob?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the knob actually turns.
And he's going to open it?
Yeah.
And he's going to push it? Mm-hmm.
You would be pulling it. It doesn't push inwards. It actually pulls towards you.
All right, he's going to be like, I'll show you how we used to do this in my neighborhood. And he just bangs on it. City guard, get on the ground, spread your cheeks, and slams the door open.
So you pull this door open. Everybody's got to take a few steps back to have this 10-foot wide door clear the arc of the hallway. And you see it opens onto a 10-foot square antechamber would be the best way to describe it. And you see in the north wall, there is this artfully wrought iron gate of bright metal that appears to peer onto another room to the north.
Mm-hmm.
But from the hallway, you can't see what's in that room beyond those bars.
You said it's a 10 by 10?
Yes, it is.
And on the north wall is another gate?
Yes, it is 10 feet wide also.
And it's just a gate, though. It's not a door.
You can't tell from the hallway if there's the way that the bars are spaced.
Okay. And is that that's the only door? Well, I'm going to move into that door, the doorway, because I was back a little bit, and just kind of peer in. Again, that you have a door on the north, a gate.
That's correct.
And then anything on the south?
No, nothing on the south, nothing on the west. You're coming in from the east.
Okay. I'm kind of looking, is it the same type of stone on the ground that it was in the hallway?
Yeah, the stone remains consistent for everywhere that you've gone so far. The only thing different is this door you just passed through, which is different than all the other doors that you've seen in the manor. And the gate in the northern wall is highly irregular. But even from standing in the threshold of the bigger door, you can see that there is a pass through the gate. There's a lock there, almost like a jail type cell.
Dempsey, what do you make of this, Dempsey?
He's trying to keep something in, for sure. And he kind of looks a little bit sheepish at his outburst, but he's going to walk up and just look at it, not going to touch.
So you go into the anteroom, antechamber. Okay. As you look and you peer in, you can see on the other side of the bars that there are just ruins all over the walls of this big room. It looks like from where you're standing in the gate that the room goes about 35 feet deep, and it looks like it probably goes maybe 20 feet to your right, but at the 15-foot mark deep into the room, it almost makes like a horseshoe around to the east. It's almost like a room that goes up and then curves, and you can't see around the far side of that corner. But all along the walls, from what you can see, there are ruins all along the walls. And on the far north wall, there appears to be some letters, but they're obscured by the cutoff of the wall. Like you can't see the full magnitude of the letters.
Can you explain the dimensions of that room again? If I'm standing in front of that gate, start from the west side, and then can you give me, dimensions and distance of walls?
Yeah, if you're standing from the gate and you're looking to the north, the northern wall is about 35 feet on the other side of the room. You look like you're in the lower left corner of this room. From what you could tell as you peer towards the right, which is to the east. There's about 15 feet before there's another wall. And that wall goes up 15 feet and then turns around a corner towards the east. So there's a big portion of the room, probably about 20 feet beyond the wall that you can't see. almost like as if you were to enter a bedroom, and you standing in a bedroom, you could see the bed, you could see a desk, but there may be a closet around the corner. There's something around the corner because there's a little foyer into the room, but you can't see beyond it because of where you are.
So it's just kind of a hook around, but we can only see about 25 feet up.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I could maybe draw something really quickly.
And I'm going to call Warren into the room like, Mr. Magic, come look at these pictures.
So
this looks like
think
right
of
up
it
your
like
alley.
this.
Okay, that's
like
what I
you're
thought.
down here and it goes up and then it occurs, but you can't tell what's over here.
Got it. Okay, perfect. That's what I thought it was. Thank you.
Okay.
Warren, I will step in and just kind of like surreptitiously look around and say, I was just making sure that nobody was eaten. That's all.
Flint walking up as well. Flint's gonna move up as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna do like a whistle, like a see if anything comes out. Like dinner time. You don't hear anything. Like prisoners to come walking out looking for soup.
No, nothing comes running.
I will look at the runes that are on the walls here. Do they match the runes that are on the door in like style and script, or are they like a little different?
No, they're pretty close to the same style and script.
Okay.
They're different. They're not etched into the metal. They're actually painted with black and red paint, you would assume. Mm-hmm. And like I said, against the far north wall, you could see a few letters of something that looks like it has been written out on the far north wall in foot-high letters. But you only see the first 3 letters of whatever it is that was written on the wall.
Now, I do have, whatever the lighting situation is, I do see perfectly well in complete and total darkness out to 120 feet.
Yeah, and we're still dealing with a low light condition right now. It's not super dark in here. The letters you see are CTH. That's all you can see from where you are.
Oh, that's not ominous.
I want to ask Warren, it seems to me that it could be magical runes to keep something in, but also maybe like a self-destruct switch. And I'm saying this probably a little bit more smoothly than Dempsey would, but can you tell if it's something like that, like the either or?
Possibly. I'll take another minute and see what I can figure out about the nature of the runes. The other thing that Warren, or that I as Warren would probably be aware of, is a lot of extraplanar creatures have the ability to teleport. So frequently traps are laid in such a way that they cannot teleport out of a specific area. Is this the nature of those runes?
To not teleport out?
Yes. No. So they don't appear to restrict movement?
No.
Okay. Do they appear like they are something that is simply protecting, like just like a simple movement or something to keep something in the cell?
No, the ruins don't do that. The ruins themselves are to maintain some kind of integrity to the cell. Okay.
So they are like a literal, like a physical barrier, or enhancing
around
the physical
walls
barrier
and stuff.
of the cell.
Go ahead and make an insight check for me.
Okay. That's a 15.
15. You get the feeling that maybe these bars may have something to do with it, but definitely the door you just passed through does too.
Okay. I'll just turn to Dempsey and say, no, I believe these are runes that have a more physical nature to their enhancement. I believe they are here to literally strengthen the cell against whatever's keeping it inside. Is there a language I can associate with the runes?
No, because it's not a particular language. It would be like a stop sign. You would recognize the symbol of the stop sign, regardless of what language it was written in.
Okay,
Those are what you're getting out of these symbols, you know.
So it's like an arcane language, literally.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't translate into Elvish or Dwarven or anything like that. It's just the symbol itself.
So what's the play? Do you guys want to try to go into the cell?
Let me try one thing first, if I may. I will
Cuts his wrist, puts a little blood on the floor.
Not a bad idea.
Bait.
See if the shark starts to come out.
Right. No, I will step close to the bars, not touching them, and at least probably still a good foot away from them. And given the evidence that I've seen, I'm pretty sure this is not going to elicit a reaction. But you will hear like a spidery language kind of flow from Warren's lips as he kind of whispers out infernal. He says, "Pardon me, we are looking for your master."
You're met with silence.
Doesn't seem like anyone's home.
Possibly not. The one other thing I'll do is I'll take out like a scrap piece of cloth or page or some kind of like fluttery flexible thing, gesture at it, and it starts floating with the mage hand, and it'll like float into the cell.
How far do you send it? Do you have to be visually seeing where it goes? Like, are you going to send it around the corner? That's what I'm saying. I need to know specifically what you guys plan on doing.
I will send it. It can go up to 30 feet away from me, so it's like almost to the opposite wall, I think. And so I'll move it over there, and then I'll hold it, or then I'll have it like wave it around, and then kind of like pull back. Within range, hand on duration until you visit it in range. It doesn't say that it has to be line of sight, but I would assume that I can't actually use it to interact with something that I can't see because I can't guide it.
Okay.
So, I will go. Actually, what I'll do, as long as it's within 30 feet, and I'll like move over to the corner closest to it to get like an extra foot or so of range out of it. I'll drop the piece of cloth, and then the hand everyone will see will go kind of like around the corner there. And then basically Warren's gonna like move the hand to the floor, and it's gonna start kind of patting along. And then it's just gonna try to it's like feeling in the dark until it like feels something. I would assume that I don't get any sensation from it, but that's the motion that the hand is gonna make.
Oh, just like patty cake in the ground and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you send it out there, drops the napkin, and it starts doing whatever around the corner. But because you don't have a connectivity to it, other than commanding it to have done it, you really are in the dark, even though you have dark vision, as to what's around the corner.
Okay.
You still can't make that determination what's around the corner.
I'll dismiss the hand and then turn to the others and say, "I'm sorry, friends, but I don't feel like, short of going in here, I don't think that there's anything that we can do to find out more about the nature of this cage."
All I could think of was American Beauty, the bag and the wind.
Just floating around.
Yeah.
Is
I
there
get the feeling this thing has already escaped and it's right behind us, and it just closed the door behind it. But
look up at the ceiling?
Is that door open, by the way? Did you guys leave that 10-foot door open?
oh
Yeah.
fuck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Dempsey's gonna do one of these. Is there anything behind us
No?
that we can see? Shit's invisible.
Yeah. Inspecting the gate, is there anything special about it? Like everything in this manor has been special to, protect or prevent something to come in or out.
It's very ornate. There is within the bars themselves, you see that there is a door of bars with a singular lock. But other than that, they just, the way that the bars are designed, they've got like a twist to the wrought iron, and they look really nice. They're not just like something you would see in a rebar fence or something.
Okay.
They're not stained with blood or anything.
No.
Yeah, do we
Teeth
smell
marks.
anything?
In fact, you don't see any blood in the other room at all. It's the stones on the floor are very clean, other than the arcane symbols along the walls and those 3 letters that you guys can see from where you are.
Warren, have you detected any magic on the store? Any aura of?
That's a good question. Shall I make an Arcana check?
That would be great.
Not as great. That's an 11.
Yeah, you don't detect anything on there.
No, nothing. Nothing specific. If there is, it may be with more laid down with more skill than I'm familiar with.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna just carefully look along the hinges of the doors and try to detect anything that might indicate that this door is trapped at all for us.
Okay.
And that is a 17.
17, you do not detect any traps at all.
Okay, Warren, it looks like I fared a little bit better than you did. That this door looks like it's okay. That we could probably attempt to open this. Dempsey, what do you think? Are you guys
Before we
prepared to
any
go
further,
through?
Can I light a torch?
Sure.
And then I'll try the door.
Okay. So you light your torch, try the gate. You're trying the gate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Torch in
locked.
one hand, gate in the other.
It is locked.
Okay.
Stebby, I gave you a key ring earlier. Do you still have it on you?
I do. I'm wondering maybe the skull key. I think we had a skull key on that. I'd pull it out and I'll try the skull key in this door.
Slide
Not
it in.
ominous at all.
Turn it. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay. And you hear the lock disengage.
Well met.
And
Ta-da, and
And we
some
walk
kind
into
of chime.
This is the cleanest and nicest jail cell I've ever been in.
I just skull fucked that gate.
All right, let's enter.
Warren just looks over at Dempsey and, do you have much experience with jail cells?
Not that I care to share.
Oh, did we lose Junior again?
Oh,
Paid all this money for this high-end internet. It won't service the toilet.
What the hell? Who flushed?
Dempsey, do you want to lead us in? I'm going to tuck the keys into my pack. And are you guys ready? I mean, it's now or never, I guess.
Shield and mace out.
Warren has his rapier out.
You see this big muscle dude, just muscle peeking out of the chain shirt, and he's like, if I got taken home by the police, my mother would kill me. And then he walks in.
Makes me concerned what your mother's profession was.
Oh, shit. Snap.
She was like a mommy. She was she had the hardest profession in the world.
Duly noted.
Raising boys. So,
5 kids in the house.
you guys are still on this side of the gate. Tell me what you guys do. I don't know.
Dempsey,
I'm gonna
you're
walk.
up.
I'm going to walk right through.
You first? Let me get a marching order.
Dempsey D.
Uh,
Double D.
Dempsey first. If anyone else hesitates, Warren will go next.
I mean, I don't mind. We just got to keep an eye on little Stebby.
Stubby, where are you going to be?
So I'm going to go through that door, but I'm going to cut to just to the right of the door, up along that wall where it's kind of like a corner,
Okay.
and just hang right there for a minute and just kind of observe and see what Dempsey's going to do.
So as you guys make your way in a little bit, you notice that there are more letters against the northern wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few feet into the room, you could tell that there are another 3 letters EPA, and that's all you can see from where you are.
The Environmental Protection Administration.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Can we take that crowbar and put it so that the door won't close? Just kind of jam it.
Sure.
Even if we just like lay it there so it'll, bang up against it and we don't get trapped in.
No, that's fine. I mean, give me insight to everything that you want to do as you're making your investigation through this.
Is there? Oh.
Dempsey, do you want to use the crowbar for this? Maybe we can jam this lock. I've got some ball bearings. Maybe we can jam the latch on the lock open.
Yeah, disable it or something. Do your,
I feel uncomfortable actually disabling the lock until we know for sure that there is nothing in here.
We have to make a quick escape.
Mm-hmm. And not have something follow us necessarily.
So, Warren, what do you think about if we're not going to, disable it? What do you think about just jamming it so that we are able to get back out if we need to?
You know what we could do? We could like lock it with it open. That way the mechanism comes out, and then when we run out, we just unlock it and then lock it again.
Does this gate open all the way and lay against the other side? Like it's a gate in the middle, right? And it swings towards us. Does it go all the way to the back?
No, it swings inwards. The gate itself swings inwards into this room that you were looking at. And imagine that this thing is, the gate itself is 10 feet wide because it covered up the whole northern wall. It would swing all the way open to the other 10 feet. That's actually stone. Because as you guys stand there and if you look back, you'll see that the wall is 20 feet wide, 10 feet of its door, 10 feet of its gate. The other 10 feet is just wall.
Okay.
This is
well, we did purchase some climbing equipment. Maybe I could put a spike and tie the gate door open with some rope. That way we don't lose any equipment.
I think we're spending a little too much time on the gate door.
I was going to say, this is classic D&D.
This whole thing is making me think of the title of this episode, so I'm cool with it.
There's like 50 zombies around the corner, and we're like, all right, if we latch the lock, but first we gotta...
While everyone's kind of discussing this, Warren's actually, I'm paying more attention to the writing that's on the wall that we can read. Is there anything that jumps to mind that would reference, particularly as far as it relates to extraplanar creatures, possibly to I'm sorry, what's the title for it? The Great Dark, the Great Beyond, whatever it is.
The Dragon's Demand? The Dark Tapestry?
The Dark Tapestry, thank you.
No, they're just the way the letters are. It doesn't give any indication of being. Doesn't start off saying the dark or dark tapestry or whatever.
Well, no, but does it read like it might be the name of a creature?
From where you're standing, you can't tell because you can't see the full length of it.
Okay.
Like you would have to move further up because from where you are, trying to get the, you guys are still back by the gate. You still have another 15 feet to go to see more of whatever's been written on this wall. I'm going to go around the circle of everybody. Stubby, what are you doing?
I'm hanging with Flint. The two of us are trying to figure out how we wedge this door open or jam a lock.
Flint, what are you doing?
Trying to see if I could, just trying to see if we could keep this door open.
Dempsey, what are you doing?
So just keeping the inner perimeter beyond the gate. So if the two guys are closer to the gate looking at it, Dempsey's going to be further into the room. So like on that right side by the corner.
Everybody make an investigation check. Or a perception check, sorry.
Damn it. Oh, hey.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Warren.
17.
Stubby.
I rolled a 1, but I get to re-roll it because of halfling luck.
God, I hate that.
It's
Is
a
it?
fucking hard 20.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
write
I
it in
didn't
the
get that
show
shit.
and take his fucking dice for making him re-roll that stupid shit. Flint.
Rolled a natural 1, makes it a 4.
Oh, so always
door
a fail.
plug?
Always
Yeah,
a fail. Dempsey.
I'm so concentrated on holding the door open.
I was pretty proud of my 17, but that 20's got me beat.
Well, you three, Flint, you're still trying to engineer a way to whatever you're doing with this this gate. But as for the other three, you hear this almost like a guttural sigh. Wizard, is that you again? Wizard.
I will suddenly like be very alert, have my like rapier in hand, and then I will very, very carefully tap on Dempsey's shoulder and just like kind of point in the direction of that sound.
I'm gonna turn, no fear.
White.
And I'm gonna look. I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna look around the corner.
Okay. This is what you see.
Two guys.
Thought my
Your
phone did fall
entire
asleep.
life flashing before your eyes.
As you turn the corner, you see that the room itself extends another 35 feet. And at the far end of the room, you see there's this big 10-foot wide, looks like almost like a well. You see that there's like bricks that go up about 2 feet around the rim of this thing. And it's 10 feet in diameter, but you don't know what's down in it. But this is where you don't see anything else on that side of the room. You do see more letters along the wall. In fact, where you're standing, you could see all of the letters. If you want me to give them to you, I will.
Sure.
Okay.
Read
After
them
the
out like a speaking
EPA.
spell to Warren.
After the EPA, there's LTA NGOULGI. Just this big, long ass word of some type.
Can you give those again? It's EPA.
It's
LTA.
CTH EPA LTA NGOULGI.
It's
The
South
pound.
American.
The Paltanguli.
Okay.
And you
Isn't
hear
that the meal of the week at Casa Bonita? I think Dempsey's just gonna be like, "We're here for you, boyo."
You took the loot over me one more time, wizard. And without your usual greeting.
I don't think it's who you think it is.
You play the game too often, wizard.
It's not the wizard. We don't mean you any harm, and I hope you don't mean it to us.
I
We're
don't,
just looking around.
I don't know who you are, boy. I suggest you leave. One of you behind. Feast.
Warren will very, very gently reach over and like grab like a sleeve or like Dempsey's backpack and just very gently pull him back.
Dempsey,
And-
from where you are, as you're starting to be slowly pulled back, you see this humanoid-like being leap from the center of whatever was in this well and kind of get down in a crouch position. It looks like he's got something in its hand, very long, pointy steel. I'm going to send you guys another picture of what this guy looks like.
Hey Flint, if you're still, you might want to hurry up with that door. We hear something down at the end here.
So, sorry, real quick, Brian. I just want to clarify. So, what I'm envisioning here is that Dempsey is up like around like basically at that edge where he can see perfectly there. Warren is just a couple of feet away, like reaching over and just very gently, slowly pulling.
From my
back.
Understanding of what Mr. Handoff the chess piece said is that he actually went around the corner to see the whole thing, which is when I gave you the entire word at that point.
Okay.
So he's probably, if you're looking at that map that I sent you, he would be midpoint between that 10-foot diameter circle on the ground, which is a hole in the ground, and back down your way. So at the 35-foot mark, he's probably 7 feet in around the corner.
Okay. So Warren, so I will be like right behind him, just around that corner. So I'm assuming that I see a fairly clear visual of this creature.
You do. And
can I identify it?
Sure. Make a. Let me make a check to see what you're going to check.
Check, yo.
Check. Make a. Make an intelligence check. Let's just go with that.
Okay. That is a 19.
A 19. This appears to be some kind of a fiend of type. Can't really identify what this thing is because you've probably never seen something like this, even with all the knowledge that you've packed on the back end from you know who. And as you see it sitting there, you see it brings into view this trident looking thing, and he starts licking it. I shall feast on all of you. Where's the old man?
Can we start to back up?
Oh, you're getting very gently pulled back.
I want to move with him.
You don't get to leave. You hear him murmur something in some kind of abyssal language.
Then I'm going to turn to the other guys and be like, heads up.
Does anybody speak abyssal?
Warren speaks Infernal, so if I'm lucky, I can pick up about every 8th word.
You hear, come, aid.
I don't think he's offering us snacks.
You see something kind of shimmer. What happened to Dempsey? We lost Dempsey. You see something, these two entities begin to shimmer, almost as though someone's being transported on board the Enterprise. And you see these two disgusting looking entities blip in. And I'm going to show you what they look like. Whoop. And they're small little creatures. They're not overly big. And he starts moving away from the well, Warren, as you're pulling Dempsey back. And at this point, let's roll some initiative for good time's sake.
Oh,
right.
This is gonna be a thing. Oh,
Dempsey, roll some
Are we
initiative.
dead yet?
no, you got back just in time to roll initiative and then die.
And you, as I was describing, there's these two entities that seem to teleport in. And I sent a picture of what they look like on the Discord as well.
That's a 19.
Warren.
Damn.
That is a 23. Rolled a 20 on my initiative.
To be
17.
Flint.
2.
You and
Like
that
also? No.
You and like that and your like singular focus on this lock.
So Warren, you just saw this creature come out of this hole in the ground, start moving forward. He's probably about where Dempsey was originally standing when you began to pull him back. You see against the north wall, directly in line with the gate, these other two creatures begin to teleport in and stand right there. What would you like to do?
So quick question for you. So we have this main fiend and these two smaller fiends. The two smaller fiends are back a little bit. How far are they from the...
They're probably about 10 feet away from the wall. So they're in line of sight with him, which would put them 25 feet away from the gate, which is 25 feet away from Flint and Stubby. So it puts them probably about 10 feet away from you and Dempsey.
Okay, and then so this fiend is also about 10 feet away?
The fiend is 7.5 feet and then around the corner. So
oh, perfect. So they're like in a nice little cluster.
Those two are, yes.
Okay,
He is not. He's still around the corner.
Oh, okay. So these two fiends have kind of popped up almost behind us.
These fiends are one here, and he is right here. And you guys you guys are right about here right now. And Flint and Stubby are right here.
Okay. So Warren's gonna turn, see these two fiends, and he just I just in Primordial just utter a curse. I stamp my foot on the ground, and there is a split second where you can actually see like the sound from the stomp kind of come up into magic from him, and it gathers actually like in his hand like a small marble, and then he throws it at those two as I cast a shatter spell at them.
Is it an area of effect?
It is an area of effect.
All right.
So they both need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
DC is 13.
Okay. First one's at 14. Second one is 4.
Okay. So the one that rolled the 4 takes 20 points of thunder damage. The other one takes 10.
You see one of them basically just shatter as its skin and bones and sinew just burst against the back wall. The other one's kind of like rocked a little. What's that?
Pops like a zit.
No, totally. Just like somebody threw a meat pie against the back wall. Anything else, Warren?
I am going to just, at this point, I'm just going to kind of like turn to face off with the one that's still standing.
Okay.
I have my rapier out.
Dempsey.
I am going to drink a potion. So he's just like, I'll be right with you. Chugs back a shield of faith.
Okay.
And then I'm going to interpose myself between Warren and the guy he just hit.
Okay.
If I do that, does it leave him open to the Minotaur dude with the spear?
Yeah, because you're both in line now, and he's on your flank.
Okay, then I'm just going to get close to Warren and just be ready for either of them to come back. So if anybody's going to be a target, it's going to be me.
Okay. Stubby.
Do I have a line of sight of one of these little dudes?
The little fiend, yeah.
Okay.
The one that's still standing.
Okay. I'm gonna remove my short bow, and I'm going to attempt a shot at that one fiend, and that is going to be a flaccid 20.
That will hit.
And that is going to be 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Flint.
Flint checking out these horrible blobs. He's going to actually take a moment, say a prayer, and bless my 3 compadres.
Ooh.
And grant them access to add a D4 to their attack or saving throws.
A D4
for a duration of a minute.
Nice.
All right.
And I'm going to move up.
You know what? I'm sorry, Flint. Okay. I'm sorry you didn't go next. My bad.
Oh.
It's okay, though. I'll leave that because you didn't do anything damaging. The horned beast has 2 targets. But you know what? He is not a fool. He knows the real danger. Dempsey. You see him usher up to you with this pitchfork and attack you with it. 18 on the first pincher, 21 on the second, and the other one misses you.
So that was 3 attacks?
Yeah, 3 attacks, but only 2 of them hit.
Yep.
Crack die. So you take 14 points of damage and 2 points of poison damage, and I need you to make a con save on your turn. The other beraggled, gnarly-looking thing comes towards you, Warren, comes hobbling down and attempts to claw at you. With the first claw, 18 on the die, that's going to hit. Second claw will miss. And he does 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Flint, you just did your hocus pocus.
Yes.
Warren, you are up.
I will attempt to stab this annoying little blob in front of me. I lash out with my rapier. Let's see, and I get to add a d4 because Flint is awesome.
He's too far away for me to kill. I'll get him next time.
Which brings it to I rolled a 4 on the d4, so that brings it to a 17 to hit.
That's going to hit.
That is 5 points of piercing damage and another 3 points of is it 3? I'm sorry, 2 points of fire damage.
And that is enough to actually kill it as it crumples to the ground right at your feet.
Nice.
Excellent. And then I will turn to face this demon that is apparently causing horrible, horrible wounds to Dempsey.
Very good. Dempsey.
Okay, so you said that's a con save?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Add a d4.
Yeah, baby. Some healing, some protection.
That's a 15.
15 is not enough.
Ooh.
So at the end of your turn, you will take another 4 points of damage. Wait, was it 4 points?
Okay.
No.
I'm going to do 2 attacks.
Okay.
That's not going to hit. That's a 6. Fucking a natural 1. Action surge. Attack again.
You can. But let's address that one first. Make a dex save.
Okay.
Oh dear.
4.
4. Your weapon slips from your grasp. Oh, you're using your fists, though,
My
right?
hand just falls off.
Okay. No. Roll an attack roll against Warren.
Okay.
Make sure you don't hit him in the process of
Did I
this.
use the bless?
You can. Hard 20?
Hard 20.
Yeah.
Hard 20.
Yeah,
I did
baby.
for that shit.
We need to talk about where your like hard 20s land.
We're going to switch dice.
Give him some damage.
Fuck me. Okay.
I think you're fucking me, actually.
That's
Fisting
10 points
you.
of damage.
He's definitely fisting you.
Warren, like, I just cry out in like surprise and just Dempsey!
Boom! Yep, right in the face.
Stubby, you watch your ally strike your other ally in the process of trying to take out this large fiend. What would you like to do?
How far are they from this fiend, the two of them? What's the distance?
They're within like 7 to 10 feet of him because he's using a halberd, like a trident that's got range on it.
Oh,
Do I
well, Dempsey was attacking him, so Dempsey should be within 5 feet of him.
Okay, then we'll just say he was closer, choking up on it.
Okay.
But everybody's within that same cloister. So they're
Turned
within
around
5
and
feet.
did like a
of it.
lethal weapon, Martin Riggs kick in the face.
Yeah, we're just, everything's just very fluid and very close, bobbing and weaving, punching mages in the back and shit. So
they're within, but they're not within 5 feet.
we'll
Of
say
that.
they are. To have
Mostly
made the
they are?
Yeah, we'll say they are because to make the mechanics have worked. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Do I have line of sight?
Yes, you do.
Okay. On this turn, I'm going to attack with my short bow.
Okay.
And that is going to be... It's an 18.
Misses.
With the bless too?
Oh, that's right. I got a +4. That's a 22 then.
Okay, that will hit.
Okay. And that is going to be 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
If Dempsey is within 5 feet, you should be able to add sneak attack.
Add your D6.
That is true. That's a 2. Another 2 points.
Every 10th counts.
I'm still like locked into what I was going to do. That's why I'm not going to give it away, but maybe next turn.
I love that bless. Every time somebody does it, I feel like it's a shotgun. Just yeah.
Loads you up, baby.
So now he has 2 targets. He's got Warren and Dempsey. 1, 2, 3 for Warren. Warren, you will be the happy recipient of this attack as he cranks on you with this tri-pronged weapon again. 16 on the die, 19 on the die, and another 19 on the die. Why don't you tell me what I get? How often is that going to happen, Chris? You made that work last time.
What was the question? Oh,
he formulated the 3 threes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I see. You're poking fun at me.
19 points of damage.
Warren falls over.
And 1 point of poison damage.
Thanks to that hit to the face.
Yeah. And I will let the rest of you go.
You see him start to salivate at the jaws.
Leave him behind. Until next session.
Oh fuck!
Over the time.
There we go.
Damn, baby.
That was a good cliffhanger, man.
Because we gotta have to figure out what we're gonna do with Warren, man.
I am sorry.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeart Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, leave us that 5-star rating and review. We've also got a YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20, so if you're into watching, head on over there and hit that like bell, and don't forget to subscribe. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to check us out and look for us out there. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can also download the current show directly and view our archives and galleries. We got a lot of interesting stuff posted there, so head on over. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So, until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.